Well, what are we doing today? Well, we're working our way through our list of winter jobs, and this is the next one. I'm working on the Bentley Arnage, and what I'm doing, almost finished, is changing this drop link. It was an advisory for the MOT because one of the rubbers is splitting. And that's enough to give you an advisory and ultimately a fail just for a bit of rubber. But of course, once the rubber splits, the muck gets in and it starts to wear. I mean, in this case, for an anti-roll bar drop link, it's not that important, but nevertheless it's a job that has to be done, so here we are doing it. I wanted to try and do it in as easy a way as possible without actually taking the roll bar off. When I did similar work on my Silver Cloud, I needed to take the roll bar off pretty much to do any work. This one's pretty straightforward. There's 4 sockets, socket cap screws, holding the anti-roll bar on. Just down there you need to take the bottom tray off, but I thought let's see if we can do this without bothering with stripping too much out. As you can see, the new drop link is in position, and I found that the normal method of just giving, taking the nut off, giving the roll bar a good swipe with a decent hammer might release the taper, but of course it's spring steel, so I think it absorbed the vibration and it wouldn't spring as it would normally with other ball joints. So I had to use my trusty splitter here, and I found that if I put the splitter in from the top across there, I could get a socket on the back and then ease the tension on, leave it for a bit more tension, and then it did spring. The other problem, an unusual problem really, is that the bottom one, the bottom taper, is actually part of the lower wishbone, and you can't get a splitter on there at all, and a few hefty whacks didn't have the desired effect. So I found that by using a high tensile bolt, I managed to free it. This is the original fitting. The taper fits into the lower wishbone down here, and then you have a socket cap screw that goes in the far end to secure it, and this is the original, which I've got to just put in to finish the job off, but I've got another high tension one, screwed that in from the back and gave it 2 or 3 hefty whacks, and the taper came out. So for me, using the old splitter at the top and extended high tensile bolt socket cap screw here, gave it a good knockout, and it did pop out. What I did then was made sure that the units were in that kind of position with a taper on, and then I found that they would just go in to the bottom and the top, and then I used this trusty jack to raise the suspension or lower it to just get it into the right position. So by using a jack under the wishbone, it just popped in nicely with a hide mallet, and all I had to do then was screw it up. So there's one job remaining, just to put a bit of Loctite on that socket cap screw and pop it back in. I use the original nut because it has a built-in washer. The one that comes with the new unit, as you can see, it's got quite a nice nut with thread lock on it, but no washer, so I decided to use the original, which I've done. So that one's actually on and tight. This one now has to be just pulled up with this little socket cap screw, and the job is done. So it was actually pretty reasonable job, but I did find that I needed my old friend the splitter. For most ball joints, I mean, a good sharp tap with the ball peen hammer and they do pop off, but certainly not in this case because of this. I suspect because this is spring steel. So there we are. The advisory on this side is now completed. I've just got the other one to do on the other side. Hopefully it will be as easy as this one was. And I think that's about it for this car, for the Bentley. I've been working my way around doing various jobs on other cars, which I tend to do during the winter period, when it's not too chilly, of course. As you can see, the vented disc is perfect. That was changed 4 or 5 years ago, all in perfect condition. And as you can see, I've been painting, and I always paint underneath everything. I just can't help myself. I just can't be having rust anywhere on any of the vehicles personally. So there we are, job done. Time to move on to the other side, get that one finished, and then move on to one of the other cars. So there we are, we'll leave it at that.